isothermic, so don't pick up your test tubes with your hands if you're removing them. Use your test tube holders. I'm going to put that gas off to the side, that reaction. We're going to take another flaming splint, and if you remember earlier, I heated this tube up. Now watch what happens when I put the flaming splint into this test tube. It immediately goes out. The gas that was produced in this reaction was carbon dioxide. The gas went out. The flaming splint went out due to the gas, CO2. Now, this next reaction I'm going to add a little bit of this liquid. And a little bit of this liquid. And I'm mixing it up to see we're going to take a splint, and it's called the glowing splint test. And basically, you let the splint glow, and you insert it into the container. And if oxygen had been present, it would have flamed up again. Oxygen was not produced in this reaction, so oxygen was not present. Let's try that one more time. We're going to add a little bit of this liquid again. And now I'm going to use another chemical. And you can kind of see a reaction, can't you? And I'm going to use a glowing splint. Now watch this. It's glowing. And now watch what happens. It reignited. There, I have oxygen. The next one I'd like to show you is this concept of phenolphthalein. You're going to be adding an acid and you're going to be adding a base to an evaporating dish. After you add the quantities of acid and base, you're going to have this phenolphthalein, which when we put phenolphthalein with the base, it turns pink. Phenolphthalein in acid is colorless. It's colorless in water, but look at this. When I have a base, look at that bright magenta. So, in the reaction where you're going to add the phenolphthalein, when it turns light pink, you've reached your end point. Add one more drop of acid or enough acid to where you get rid of the pink color, but in your case you'd be adding drops. I put a little bit too much base in there, so I'm going to get it to where it's colorless. And you want to stir it. And now I have it colorless. You just want to add enough drop by drop till you get it colorless again. For the purpose of this exercise, I was speeding it up. Then you're going to use your ring stand, and you're going to take your evaporating dish. You'll set your iron ring up, and then you will heat the evaporating dish for about 20 minutes until there's no more liquid, and then you'll look at the residue. Now for this last one, sit back, because this one you're going to need to write down in your notes for your taking notes all along because there's lots of questions in your pre-lab on this video. But what I'd like to show you is the gummy bear. So we're going to go ahead and do the decomposition of potassium chlorate. This is called the decomposition of potassium chlorate. You're going to need to heat your fish. Well, you're actually not going to do this. We're doing it for you. And so you need to pay attention to your observations. Notice that I'm heating this liquid up, the solid, and it will liquefy, and it will produce a gas. Now, as I'm watching it, this is KClO3. It is one of the decomposition reactions that you're going to need to memorize. And I don't know if you can see it from this angle, but it is starting to liquefy here. Now that helps me because once I see it starting to liquefy, I know it's decomposing. And as a chemist, I know that it's decomposing to KCl and oxygen. Now I'm going to put this gummy bear in, which is a carbohydrate, and remember in biology, you were taught that carbohydrates are a great source of energy. Well, wait till you see this. This is pure oxygen that I've created as an atmosphere in this test tube. And it's almost ready to go. And let's see what happens when I put this gummy bear in here. Now you do notice I'm taking the flame away, and the gummy bear has now had enough heat and energy and the oxygen from the potassium chlorate to produce quite a significant exothermic reaction, light given off, and you can see the gas as well. Did you notice the color of the flame in there? What do you remember from flame tests? There was a light purple given off. Tell me what element was responsible for that light purple flame that you saw when it heated up. And students, that's the end of our pre-lab. Enjoy this balancing equations lab. It will take you approximately 3 days to finish and write your reactions.